Wow. All right, we're going live in 2 minutes. Let's see what's going on here. Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing? Light crowd today. A little bit crazy in the market right now. SPY's down. Market's a little nuts. Gonna get rolling in 3 minutes. Anybody got any questions before we start? I'm gonna do a quick news brief. It's actually my birthday in a day or so. And my wife wants to do something tonight, so I'll make this a little short. I'm in a SPY put position right now. It's been doing well. It's down $7 today. 2 minutes to go time. All right. Let's get started. You guys deserve some news on time. All right. Been doing research, been updating the research as I go because things have been changing all day. But in case you guys are wondering why the market has been unpredictable this morning, even with all the news, it's a lot of the option contracts expired last week on the 20th. So it's kind of usually the market makers have like hedges on both sides that keep it in line. Right now, it's almost like there's no push. So the swings can be very, very big. There's no like insurance, heavy insurance compared to most times. It's almost like there's a bracing for a massive drop, but it's not really showing that yet. So, I mean, we got a lot going on from, potential Iran US escalation, oil issues. There's still a million other things going on in the world, tariffs. So let's get started. So I've refreshed my market update for Monday, February 23rd. Okay, the NASDAQ is down and the SPY is down. Everything is pretty much down. SPY's down over 800 points. We've got some rotation, Mag 7 rotation buzz. We got earnings for NVIDIA coming on Wednesday, which is going to be the big thing. Bitcoin slide is making, stocks like MSTR and Coinbase drop, all crypto-related stocks. But everything seems to be bouncing off of certain levels. Right now, the SPY is sitting at, around the 682 level. So a lot of bulls come back in at 682. It dropped below, keeps rallying. I keep jumping between calls and puts. Right now, I'm in a put position, but it looks like it might turn around. So it'll automatically exit for me if that happens. We've got a number of different stocks that could move heavily in either direction, depending on what the news brings us. So let's get started with the news. All right, let me pull it up. Sorry, I'm a little bit off today. All right, so last week, what do we have? We had a strong close on Friday. Supreme Court ruled Trump's big emergency tariffs illegal, easing the trades wars. And the Dow's up, was up 0.3% on the weekly. But this morning, we jumped in and the VIX is shooting up. It's sitting here at 2111, which is a little bit higher than usual. It's not quite in the super duper fear department, but volatility is very high. VIX being up 10% today. That's like a moderate, level of fear. Right now, it's investors which should start hedging now, but it doesn't trigger a full meltdown. Rotation themes are persisting. We got cash, fleeing the megatechs, but a lot of these are still close to very, very, very all-time highs. And then other ones like Amazon are still not breaking out the way they should. Amazon needs to see something like 212, 213 to really shoot past where it needs to go. Bitcoin trading at under 65,000. The critical level is 64. If it breaks that, you got psychological at 60. If it breaks that, we're going to see pretty bad stuff happening in the crypto market. Um, it's weak right now. You know, a lot of it's tied to the tariff risk off. People are jumping into other assets. You know, silver. What is silver doing right now? Silver should be up. Let's see. Silver is $79.30, up 3.5% on the day. So we spoke about that last week. How silver is going to make a move back up, and now it's starting to do that. Silver could see 100 again over time. I don't know how quick the boosts were, but silver is going to be very needed in the future. So, you know, nice, good long-term investment for those of you that don't know where you want to go in. Here, look, SPY, just since we started, is down another 30 cents. So it's good I kept that put position on, right? That's what's happening right now. We've got a very, very, very serious potential sell-off if it breaks past this level and doesn't bounce. I think then we'll head into the 670s. We haven't seen that in a bit. Right now, we are sitting at under 400 on Tesla, under 205 on Amazon. Coinbase is, you know, down 6.5% for the day. Netflix hasn't rallied yet, and none of the major sectors that I've been talking about have really rallied. We've got the critical metals. Some of them are up, some of them are down, but nothing crazy. Like USAR is a little up today, but some other ones like UUUU and the uranium are down. The market doesn't know what it wants to do, in my opinion. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities for dip buys on rotations. Personally, I'll tell you how I'm playing this market. I look at it right now as a scalper's market. Unless you're a long-term investor and you're looking to pick up certain names on a discount, it's a scalper's market. If you understand options, you could sell puts and pretty much pick prices that you want to buy certain stocks at and get paid for them if you have the cash to secure 100 shares equivalent. So that's a great strategy right now. Palantir dropped about 3.5%. There was speculation on that. And a very coveted Mag 7 name dropped below its 200, Microsoft. You know, Microsoft was sitting around 390. It seemed like it was a very good bounce level, but no, it dropped another $10 today, sitting at 386.55. Meta sold off $15. Apple's holding up, and Nvidia's holding up. Those are the only ones in the mags that are holding up. Google's down about 0.5%. It didn't quite rally the way it was intended to this morning. As far as bullish and bearish catalysts, you know, I put in the Discord all the different things that we have upcoming for the week. Let's recap on a few of them. Tuesday and Wednesday, we got confidence in factory data to see if it's steady and supportive. And on Thursday, we got the claims to see if softer jobs boost or, you know, we have rate cuts coming down the horizon or not. I personally don't think they're going to cut rates just yet. I think you have to see stronger recovery from inflation, because if you cut rates too early, it's not so good. Although as a real estate guy, I love rate cuts. My real estate business in America is doing terrible because people can't afford houses, right? It's a big problem when you go to apply for a loan and just 2 years ago, the same price costs you, 20% more. So that's what's happening right now. As far as the tariff wars, Trump's getting creative by using different powers to allow him to unilaterally give tariffs across the board to cover deficits. How that's going to play out, I'm not sure. I personally don't think this is a market you want to be going heavy on. As I mentioned last week, we are in a position where I would be 50% cash. That's the kind of position I am comfortable with in today's market. I am not comfortable with having anything more than that. I personally think you should be holding on to your money for the right plays. February traditionally is one of the worst months in the history of the market. Back when I was new in investing, I would lose a lot of money in February thinking that I would time the shorts or the longs or whatever it was. It's just a terrible market. But you have names right now that are at severe lows and could bounce at some point. But again, the trend is your friend. So a lot of the things that I cover is disciplines, right? So important that that you have your disciplines in place right now. You could lose your shirt on everything that you did well during a nice bullish run. Right now, we're sitting at near all-time highs. Even though the SPY's down, it's still very, very high. And it could drop. There's no real indicator that it's going to, but it can. Right now there's no pull in either direction with the call put revenue. So I would be very, 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 very cautious. What are the comments saying? Any takes on BBAI? I love BBAI long term. I have it in my long term portfolio. I think it's amazing. I think at these levels it's crazy buy. But right now there's a big I think BBAI, by the way, is releasing their quarterly earnings, right? Um, BBAI is going to be very, very lucrative in the future. Right now, all of the AI stocks, all of these smaller names are getting hammered, similar to what happens when Bitcoin starts to get hammered. Right, all the altcoins don't perform as well. Everything's related to this. So right now, BBAI as an investment long term, I love it. I've been telling you guys in the Discord when I got in the short term and got out, and what position I'm holding in the long term. Personally, for BBAI, if you're an options player, you buy the leaps 2 years out, 3 years out, as far as you can get them. You get the $4 or $5 leaps, and you just sit on them. If you want to just buy the stock, it's trading at a very, very low number now. I don't think it's going out of business. I think right now, all of these names that don't have much strength are going to have weakness in this kind of a market. You don't see the weakness heavily until you see the Mag 7 start to drop. But if the SPY is still holding at 682 and you see every Mag 7 name dropping, then you know that the other names in the SPY are doing well, right? So remember, the S&P 500 has about 500 names. So you got to look at it from a perspective of not just the Mag 7, even though they hold most of the market cap for everything. As far as Bitcoin goes, by the way, I'm taking the questions in order over here because that was a very quick recap. We have a short week with events and news, but it's jam packed with what could happen to the market. Personally, I expected SPY to go up by the end of the week. I expect it to climb before it's going to tank. I think we're going to see SPY hold somewhere around this level, even though I have puts right now, and close out the week somewhere close to 700. I don't have any proof on that. I'm just reading what I'm seeing with charts and different names, and I'm trying to make an analysis. I think we're due for a correction at some point in the next 2 months. And after that correction, it'll be more comfortable to jump in. That's why I believe in a cash position. As far as Bitcoin goes, for all of you that weren't here 5 minutes ago when I talked about it, it's under 65,000. I've been saying this for a few weeks now based on the moving averages. 64 is a big support level. That's where you're going to see things go bad if it goes below 64 on the weekly, and then you're going to have a psychological 60. I don't see it doing that yet. I think we have a lot of news going on. It's okay not to trade, by the way. It's okay not to trade. I got to tell myself that this morning I scalped amazingly, and then I gave a lot of it back trying to overtrade. Very, very not good. I called the SPY puts perfectly, and then I got back on calls, got shorted a little bit. So don't be greedy. Come up with a trade plan, stick to it. You'll be very, very happy. Can I explain market psychology in this market? Okay. So right now, this is post a lot of option contracts expiring. So market makers, banks, hedges, they're all resetting certain positions. So as far as the psychology of this market goes, the volatility is very high. You're going to see big swings up and down, intraday swings, weekly swings. It could, we could see SPY going down to 680 and then jumping back up to 686 and coming back. It could be very, very heavy on the swings till they create the call and the put walls on each side and kind of hold it in, which I have to check. I haven't checked the options chain in the last few hours, but when I checked pre-market and when I saw it on Friday, I saw what was going on. As far as technicals for Tesla, give me a second, I'll get into it. What was it? QQQ? Who's asking me about QQQ? Yeah, QQQ is only down 1.3%. Like I said, right now, everything's moving. You could see a lot of big names moving, and there's rotations in sectors. It really depends where it's going. If all of a sudden the war escalates, all the war stocks are going to move. If you know, tariff negotiations come out better, retail stocks are going to jump. Certain things are going to jump based on what's going on. All right, you guys want to see Tesla? I'm a huge Tesla fan. Funny enough, this week I am zero in Tesla other than actual stock. I took puts this morning and I got out around 396 and I said, let me get into calls. And it's not really showing strength for the calls yet. So my position closed out. I had a very tight stop loss, even though the RSI is pointing up. What we really need, it's in a very bearish area right now, guys. Just to be clear, Tesla is by far not bullish. It surprises us every once in a while. Tesla moves like a maniac. And, if you're a gambler, you could bet on Tesla going up and, get lucky intraday, but I wouldn't do it. I'm telling you right now, I'm not in Tesla. I'm a very aggressive trader with Tesla. I am not in anything on Tesla right now. It's bearish in my opinion, but it keeps slamming on this 395 level range. And I don't know if it's going to break and go further or shoot up. And I don't know that I want to, I made good trades for today. I don't know that I want to hedge. I want to see what it does. I want to see what the market does. Tesla, in order to go bullish, needs to climb past certain key levels. Right now, it broke the $400 level, right? It broke the $408 to $410 level. Then there's the $415 to $417 level. The reason why I'm saying it like that is because it's moving, the averages are moving, and that's the range that it's been in the last 2 weeks. If you want very, very big specifics, I can look it up and chart it for you. But I think by tomorrow, Tesla's going to be a little bit different. It's in a bearish trend right now. It's going down, making higher lows, lower highs and lower lows. And I want to see where it stabilizes. I'm not happy with Tesla. I wouldn't get back into it until I saw a really big spike in volume, bringing it above 400 really fast and then shooting up and trying to catch it on some momentum. But then we got a few stages for it to go. We got the 404-ish level, about $10 higher. I'm not happy with Tesla until it gets back to 420. To be honest, anything under 420, it is extremely bearish. Yes, it could stair step and then 410, after it's holding at 405 and 408 consistently could seem a little more bullish, for that little time period. But overall, it's very bearish. And until it really shows us 420, it'll play in a range and you might be able to scalp it. But it's not on a bullish trend yet. It has a lot of news around the corner. It's got a lot of beautiful things that could happen to it, but it's not there yet. Remember, we talked about the fundamentals of Tesla. In a market like this, when you're looking at a stock for value, Tesla's not it. Tesla's great on a momentum play. You get some news, you got something going on, but I'm waiting for that. Right now, it's just under 395, and I'm the biggest Tesla lover in the Discord, and I'm not touching it. So I'm telling you guys right now, don't waste your time. It's down 4% on the day. That's very, very big. The SPY's down over 1%, and look how much it took out of the market. The market is losing money. And you have to ask yourself, when you're in this kind of market and you're looking for a deal, well, why aren't you just buying like crazy? Because you don't have confidence in it, right? So that's your answer. Right now, there's no consumer confidence in the market at these prices. You don't really want to buy, at these prices until you see some bullish momentum, until we have some good news catalysts. We have too many unknowns sitting on the table, and the market does not like uncertainty. As far as um, dip buys, if I would be looking for dip buys right now, I'm waiting for the SPY to turn around and I'll play it on the upside. I'm waiting for Amazon to start making some momentum, being it's down 3%. I like Amazon at this level. This is a good price to get in. Um, you know, even if it dips a little further, overall long term, it's a very good price to get in. The two strongest stocks in the market are Apple and Nvidia right now. As far as for 2026, it's probably Apple and Google. You know, as far as the two strongest stocks in the Mag 7. Everything else is getting crushed. Palantir's down to 130. We got Michael Burry calling it down to $65. We've got a lot of big people saying, okay, all this money with AI, great. You know, remember when AI spending was the only reason why certain names were going up? Well, now it's like, oh, you spent too much in AI. Well, what do you have to show for it? And that's kind of what's happening. Um, Robotics is around the corner, as well as powering all of these things. So you got nuclear and a certain energy sector is going to be very, very, very strong this year because of what's coming around the corner, as well as the metals, silver and the rare earth metals. All of those things are going to be needed for future components and future weapons and a bunch of other things. So I'm not going to run down every use for silver and the rare earths. I have a video on rare earths that'll cover all that. But I see bearishness everywhere in everything. I'm not as optimistic as some other people right now. I think that there are certain the rotation of certain names is holding it up kind of, but the bottom could fall. Wait, did I lose audio? I didn't lose audio. Miss Mary, what's going on? Long time. We got to go live again together. Miss Mary is the best with technicals, guys. Any of you guys who are not in the Stocks with Josh Discord, you should join and you should get into Miss Mary's group and you should learn technicals because she is the best. All right. So I miss going live with you, Miss Mary. Sorry, our time zones are a little bit off. She's the queen of technicals. SPY still holding down. Let's see. Let's go into the chart for SPY real quick, see what it did for today. We had this big drop from the open. Looked like it was going to be bullish. Everybody was talking about calls at the market open, and then it hit a top of about 689 and a half and has not stopped really trending down since then with two, tests. That a 683 test and a 684 test, roughly a few cents under. And now it looks like it's doing the 682 test. I think the trend is going to continue possibly, and it might have the 681 test. It's slowly making, lower highs and lower lows. It has to hold this level. I think the level that it needs to hold, according to my numbers, is 681.48. That's the level that I'm looking at. And I'm looking at 682.15. So I'll get rid of my put position if it goes above 682.15, and I'll double it up if it goes below around 681.50. That's the only play that I am in right now because I just don't trust the market. The open was crazy. We had up and then down most of the day, and I just want to see what happens from here. If it's going to rally at the end of the day, if we're going to get a nice rally the last hour of the day, or if it's going to be continuation. And tomorrow morning, we're going to wake up and decide what plays we want. What else you guys want me to cover? I got 9 more minutes today. It's a little short session, like I said, but I'd be happy to cover anything you want. Based on technicals, are we near the bottom for Palantir? Well, let's take a look. I don't really chart Palantir much, but I do own a lot of it. So I do watch it. And it's kind of holding at this level. It's been holding consistently around this level. If you look at the chart today, it keeps going above it, below it, and ending up somewhere around 130. It dropped earlier. I had bought a call position when it was at about 128 or so, and then I got out of it, very, very fast for like a 5% return. Right now, we are above VWAP. I think that if we go below 129.72, then we're going to retest what we did earlier, opening range at 127.40. That seemed to be where the bottom held. I don't know if this is a tweezer bottom. Mary could tell me if it's a tweezer bottom or not. That happened earlier today around the morning hours after 15-minute, right after morning market. That's where I think if it breaks that, then we're going to see, it go back down to around 125, 124. Palantir is not bullish yet. Okay, guys. For it to be bullish, we really need to see it reclaim 200, get above 132, 133 range. I wouldn't be touching Palantir now. I wouldn't necessarily be shorting it either, because time decay, unless you're scalping, you got a lot of time decay. And I'm not interested in giving my money back to the market anymore. I've done enough of that in my life. Right now, I'm scalping. Okay, for all of you that know what that is, that's trading in the short term, right? Really quick, in and out, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours. I like the end of the day nowadays. Most of the last few weeks, I've been jumping out of the market after the first half an hour, 45 minutes, and then coming back the last hour and a half of the day and deciding which names I want to get bullish on. I don't know that I'm going to do that today. It's not feeling like that kind of a day. The VIX is spiked really high. The metals, the silver is up very big, and SPY is down almost $8. That's a pretty big drop. That's usually around the maximum it's been during these kind of days. So if it doesn't coil back up and start moving back in the other direction, we could see a bigger drop. And, again, February is very crazy. Coin. You want me to chart coin? Well, I don't really chart coin so much, but I do discuss it a lot. I have a huge video on Coinbase, and I'm very, very bullish on it long term. I'm holding some short-term not short-term calls, midterm calls for May. I got some May calls, and I've got stock, and I've got CONL, which is the 2X ETF for Coinbase, because I do believe that in the future, Coinbase is going to rally strong. It's just right now, because of tariffs and everything, crypto's still taking hits and hasn't fully recovered. Coinbase has the market cornered as far as stocks go, that exchange the coin market, even though SoFi is coming in the coin custodial market and such. Let's get into the chart real quick. Hold on, I'll pull it up. All right, Coinbase. So all-time high, 52 weeks, $444. The low, 52 weeks, $139.36. So it's $20 above the low, which was not too long ago, and it's very, very far from the high. The low for the day, it's there right now. It's 20 cents off of the low for the day. The high for the day was 168. Looked like it was going to rally earlier, but it didn't, because Bitcoin slid, and Bitcoin's down 3,000 points, over 3,000 points today. I'm not going to chart it like a normal chart. I want you to look at the correlation. If anybody has, all these things open up, look at the correlation between Coinbase, Bitcoin, MicroStrategy, right? You'll notice that they're all following the exact same pattern when Bitcoin moves. So I don't see Coinbase moving at the same pace as other crypto-related stuff, because it's custodial. It makes money on transaction fees, and they're still going to be very profitable no matter what the price of Bitcoin is. But currently, they are holding this level over here, right? And if they break let's see if Coinbase breaks, where is it? I'd say 158.47. That's my number on Coinbase. If it breaks 158.47, I see it going down to about 154. Okay. I don't personally see it breaking that right now, but it can. And if it breaks upward, we have a few levels here. So it broke every single one of the structures today to the downside. We got to reclaim 160, then 162, then VWAP at around 163.30. Those are major reclaims. Opening range high is somewhere around 169. Is that what my chart says? Yeah. Pre-market high. Sorry, pre-market high is 168.89. So that's really what we want to see for it to get back into more bullish territory. But I think it's bottoming out here. I said this last week. If anybody watched any of my videos on Coinbase, on MicroStrategy, and on Bitcoin, and I'm not a Bitcoin specialist anymore as far as charting, but I do follow the trend, right? And I follow the momentum. And Coinbase, if you're going to invest long term, I think it's amazing at this level. Could have dipped further, sure. But I think within 2 to 3 months, we're going to see it back above 200. Again, I can't guarantee that, but I'm just telling you, it's in the world of crypto, it's very, very low. I've been stacking CONL, the Coinbase 2X ETF. I picked up 1,000 shares of it the other day. CONL in its 52-week high was $72. Its 52-week low was $5. So I don't mind buying it about 20% off of its low to potentially 10x, right? I'm a big fan of those kind of momentum plays, and I generally do it with options, but no reason to get into options on something this volatile. You're going to lose your shirt right now. I would do it if it was a bullish trend and I was just trying to time it, but on a bearish trend, I wouldn't touch it. Going back to the SPY right now, just again, since we talked about it 10 minutes ago, it's down another 40 cents. So I'm up 60% on this position. And this is 30% of that was since we went live. So again, it's breaking. It just broke the level I told you. So I'm going to add a little bit to my position here, but I'm going to tighten my stop loss. Okay, I'm going to make my stop loss even tighter. And I'm jumping back into these, doubling up on these 682 puts. It looks like it's turning around, but it really needs to get above 681.85 for me to take it seriously in reversing. And if it does reverse, I may jump in on it towards the end of the day. Something like SPY with a lot of liquidity would be something that I would trade. Right now is not the time to be trading big ETFs and holding on to them and trying to dollar cost average. I think you need to pick individual stocks and jump in it. SPY is the only one that I would trade at the end of the day on options and at the beginning of the day on options right now and feel comfortable because it's got huge liquidity and volume. Hold on. I just want to set a stop loss here. Give me a second. Okay. All right. 2 more questions. What do we got? Can you please chart? What is your price for the call? What is my price for which call? Oh, the which call? The Coinbase call. I have the May 15th $160 calls. Those are the ones I'm in on Coinbase. Okay, right now they cost about $22 a share, so $2,200 for one contract of the May 15th $160 call. That means that, not including the time value, $22 plus $160, $182 a share. right? You'd be making a lot of money if it happened in the short term. Um, that's the way I always look at it. I add the total number onto the price and I say, could it reach this by that time frame? Um, is there enough time to still have some time? Is the time decay going to destroy me or not? Right? You got to be very careful when there's volatility. Sometimes the market makers will destroy you in the contracts, and you'll have some kind of IV crush and you'll get killed. So on names like Coinbase, if there's no momentum, and I love it, I'll buy it 3 months out. What else we got? I agree. ETF 2x down with market down is complex to maintain. Absolutely. I would not, like I said, I don't recommend it. I've just told you what I'm doing with Coinbase personally on CONL, but I don't recommend it. I think right now it's a very scary time for ETFs and for grouped funds because there's a lot of rotation going around. You're not going to be safe if, oh my God, I got so much gas. You're not going to be safe if a whole sector drops, right? So you want to look at individual names and follow them. Personally, the names that I'm following, I've named over and over again. In the Mag 7, I like to watch Tesla and Amazon mostly. In the coin markets, the Bitcoin markets, I like to watch BTC to see where it's going. And I watch Coinbase and MicroStrategy. Those are the two ones that I watch. In the metals markets, I love MP, UAMY, USAR. I like NB, CCG, and CEG for CCG and CEG for the nuclear and the uranium plays, as well as UUUU. Those are the names I'm watching. I'll make scalp plays on other Mag 7 names, but that's pretty much what I'm watching. I'm watching NVIDIA for the market move in AI, right? Everybody's looking to see what happens on Wednesday. Could NVIDIA have amazing earnings and still not move the market? Yes, but it's definitely a pillar, right? NVIDIA is definitely a strong pillar, like a chair that has 5 legs, right? You take a leg away, 4 legs, sorry, you take a leg away, you can still sit on it, but NVIDIA is like a solid leg in the AI market. So when it drops, doesn't mean everything's going to drop, but it definitely has major impact. What's the radar for short-term options, SMCI, and gold? Well, again, I'm not a fan of short-term options right now unless there's some momentum or you're looking at an individual name. So let's say you wanted to play NVIDIA into earnings. It depends on where NVIDIA is. Right now, NVIDIA is sitting at, it's barely moved since this morning. It's $190.53. If you wanted to play it into earnings, you could. But it could go the other way just as easily. And because it hasn't you have 2 more days left. So I short term, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm very, very, very cautious short term with the options game. When it comes to stocks, if there's something you like and you're following it, I've been following Coinbase. I like it a lot. I decided no, I have no problem getting into the ETF. It's $6.30 right now. It's down 13% today from the price that I bought it at. I'm probably down about 10%. So I don't mind dollar cost averaging a little bit more and averaging at an 8% drop when it could 10x, over the next year or so. I don't think Coinbase is going anywhere. As far as Switz, yeah, you're the man. If you're into gold and silver miners, you are the man. Anybody that got into gold and silver really kicked butt. So I don't do TEM. I'm sorry, I don't know TEM. And let's see what else we got here. AMD, will it ever rip again? I don't know. AMD was one of those names that I used to call it the American money destroyer because anytime I would invest in AMD, I would lose money. Anytime I would play options, it would go the other way. And then it ran up like a machine, from when it was like $83, just like had this one day boost sometime in October where it went from like $160 to like $230. And it never really looked back until now. Right now it's sitting under $200. The PE ratio is 74, which is still high for these names, right? We want to see 50 or less for these kind of tech names. But AMD is a big chip maker, and they big they everybody uses, when you go to buy computers and you want a graphics card, it's the only names that really come to mind are Nvidia and AMD most of the time. So it's got a big market share. It's got big roots everywhere. But there's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot going on with AI, and these big companies are knocking each other out with new products. There's no hype on it right now. There's no trend on it right now. The 52-week high is $267. The 52-week low is $76. So just like Tesla, it's got these crazy swings with a lot on the horizon. But recently, there were some billionaires. I think I was watching Unusual Whales that sold Nvidia and AMD to buy other AI stocks. So in the grand scheme of big names, a lot of these names got run up, and the bigger institutions are waiting for some kind of news that the AI is going to produce something, or we're past the purchase season, for graphics cards and computers and all that stuff, and we're going into that slow season where we have with these names, and I just don't see AMD recovering so quickly. Let's see the chart on it. Sorry, for some reason my chart's not pulling up. SPY continuing to drop, 681.08, guys. Whoever's watching or in it. Coinbase still holding at 159.58. Let's take a look at AMD. So opened around 198.31, jumped up to 198.90. Not really much of a jump, and it's been on a slowly lower lows, higher, lower highs, lower lows trend, just like the SPY. And what did I say earlier? Does anybody remember? I said it looks like we're gonna jump down into the 681 SPY. Didn't I just say that like 10 minutes ago? I was looking at it, hesitating that I should even be commenting on the SPY like this, but I was right. And I don't like to say I'm right, because I don't like to be cocky. But 681.13, it just dropped almost to 681. Let's see. Let's look at this chart. RSI pointing down still. MACD pointing down. My position doing very, very well on the SPY puts. Oh, I did get stopped out on some of them, unfortunately, without even noticing while we were talking. But here, I'm going to close this position out so I don't have to watch it while I'm chatting. I'm going to wait until the last hour of the day to see if I'm going to make some moves, which is in 20 minutes from now. But everything's looking pretty damn bearish. I don't see any recovery yet. Well, let me read some of the comments real quick. Adding SoFi. Raise Mania, I like that idea if you're buying the stock. I love playing SoFi options because when they move, it's amazing. But yeah, I think SoFi is a good buy here at 18. Usually bounces off of this number. In fact, in the last 6 months, only since January did it really start dropping to these levels. And I love SoFi. I have a whole video on SoFi. I have a video on when I got out of SoFi. But 52-week high was 32.73. Low for today was 17.58. So it bounced off of it. And let's see if it holds that bounce. I may jump in some extra SoFi with you. I have SoFi in my portfolio. I like it. It's down 34% year to date. I bought SoFi Leaps last year at the $12 level and ran them all up till the end of the year. When they was at 30, I kind of felt stupid not selling most of them. And then when it dropped down to 25, I sold the rest. But that might not be a bad move for a stock like SoFi. They are going to revolutionize the financial markets. They are a big crypto bank, the first one in America. They got a stadium named after them. They're not small. If interest rates actually do drop, SoFi will benefit. They don't have the same overhead as banks, and they're catering to a much newer crowd and market. I love them. I love them. Unfortunately, very, very hard to get into SoFi options unless you're going to buy calls like a few months out. I wouldn't go earlier than May if you want to be safe. I personally think we're going to go up at some point over the next few weeks and rally, and then there's going to be a dip, like I mentioned, and then we're going to have to see what happens until like June or July. But SoFi, I think, with four potential rate cuts, could be very good. 2028 leaps, great move, Ray. I think they'll pay very, very well. I had the 2027 leaps when I bought it in 2024 and 2025, and I got out of them, and I hated myself for it. But then it dropped, and I was very happy that I got out of them. I like SoFi. I like it a lot. In fact, I'm going to add that to my watch list again. I mean, it's in my watch list, but I haven't really been monitoring it lately because it's been on a downtrend. Let's see if it holds up. I haven't fully charted it recently. I'm with you. I'm with you. Who's in SoFi in the comments? And yes, Iran military operations does affect markets, and it affects countries. I live in Israel. Definitely affects us. And the Iranian people are fed up with the Ayatollah. They're fed up with being oppressed. A lot of people have no idea what's really going on in Iran. Iran was pretty free in the 70s until 71 or 72 when the Ayatollah Khomeini took power and then imposed law, built up the IRCG, the Revolution, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, and they've just been picking fights with everybody till they got their butts handed to them recently, and all of their banking got destabilized, and all their leaders got assassinated. So Iran is definitely a troublemaker, and I would not put it past them to try to start a war. So, but there's a lot of precautions that have been taken against Iran. I'm not going to get into the war or politics. I'm not taking sides on this. As an Israeli and an American, I am very much against Iran. Not the people. I love the people there. I think they're awesome. But the government and the people that run them are not so awesome. They do very nefarious, terrible things. They chant death to America, death to the world, death to anything they don't agree with. So, yeah, when you have a fight with something like that, it causes markets to move. But on the flip side, if they get destabilized in a healthy way, not to pick fights with anybody, but like Venezuela, where now we can help manipulate the cost of oil, that will reduce prices around the world. So if oil controls in different areas get more regulated and less dominated by dictators, if that's the best way I can put it. Not that governments are always better than dictators sometimes, but the markets can be very destabilized, and the oil market could be moving. There's a lot of war stocks that I'd be looking at right now. Personally, I think this week is a week where we could see escalation of that, and it will affect the market. Absolutely. So you've got trade wars, you've got renegotiations of agreements, we got potential war, but overall, with all of the crazy war stuff that we have had in the last year, I have never ever seen a market hold up so high with so much war talk. So there's a big pillars holding up what's being pushed down, right? Was one of them, right? And I'm going to see if the AI continues to become cyclical and take another move up, or if it's going to fizzle out. It's not the same as the dot-com bubble. SPY still getting hammered? Yes, it is. Still under. Oof. But RSI is starting to curl up. Okay, guys? Hey, look at the MACD. Look at the RSI. RSI is starting to curl up. This may be the turnaround for SPY. You know what? I'm going to put my balls on the table and I'm going to call it. I think this is I said close to an hour away, right? I think this might be where we see a turnaround, where it's consolidated enough and we may see a turn. And it may be quick, maybe very, very quick. I'm jumping into some calls here. I'm going to buy 40, 680 calls expiring today and put an aggressive stop loss on them right now. Okay. Gonna put them in 2 batches at 2 different stop loss levels. Done. I'm in. $5,780 on SPY for the upside now. Thanks for that, by the way. Who pointed out the SPY that made me look and notice it was turning around? Let's see who it was. Who do I owe something to? East 007. I like the name. Yes, Ray. I actually played some Tesla puts as well this morning. I didn't stay in them as long as you, though, if you're still in them. What are we at now with Tesla? All right, let's go back and do a quick review before I get off. Let's see what we got. We got silver still holding up, 79.50, still inching up a little bit. Bitcoin getting very close to that $64,000 level, guys. It is 64, 194, 199. If we were very close, we're very close. We could see a really big tank, which would cause Coinbase to drop a little bit. Again, they also make money on fees and on arbitrage. They're not 100% tied into Bitcoin like MicroStrategy, who now owns over 770,000 Bitcoins, which is insane. SPY 681.10. Tesla still holding at that 394 and change level. It was like 394.50. It's 394.40 now. Amazon 204.63. I actually like. Oh, you're out, Ray. I actually like Amazon at this level. If I were to play a swing trade and I would have to pick one name in the Mag 7 that I would swing a few bucks, I guess I would like Amazon for the end of the week, like the $205 calls. But again, I'm trying to be responsible. It's a very, very hard no. I have some February 25th's $205 calls that I picked up earlier today. I forgot about them. I just looked at it right now when it dipped to about 203. But I have a super, super, super tight stop loss, and I'm already above the money on the stop loss. I'll be stopped out at a 5% profit. I like them because Amazon doesn't seem to want to go back to $200. It's holding very, very strong around this $204 level, just like the SPY was holding around 681. Tesla may turn around here, but like I said, I'm very, very unexcited about jumping into a Tesla play right now because you can lose money very, very fast. Any other names anybody wants covered? SPY moving up 25 cents since we just jumped in. Anybody else in SPY with me, by the way? Because I know some people get crazy. They see someone talk about it and they jump in right away. So I'm just curious if anyone got in that. If they did, I'd put a stop loss at the break-even point and hold there. Right now, SPY's trying to climb above the 20 again, which is at 681.34. And if it does, it just tested the 9 and bounced and didn't quite, pass it at 681.46. And then the next level up, I'd really like to see it pass is 681.83, 682 for me, psychological. But RSI is pointing up, so I'm going to hold on to these SPY calls that I have that are up $600. Not bad, almost about 10%. Anything else, guys? If not, I'm going to be turning 49, 45. Someone called me 45 today. I'm going to be turning 49 years old on February 25th. So, no, I don't look it, but it's because my father looks very young. I got some pretty young genetics. My last year in my 40s, and my wife wants to have some wine and hang out tonight. So I'm going to try to sneak in on the SPY because I like this play. USAR. All right, we'll cover USAR real quick. Thank you. All right. So I like USAR at certain levels. I like it at $12. I like it at $17, right? And I don't like it again until it's around $20.50. That's a number I've been watching over and over again. Um, I don't know if it's, I got to look and chart it now. Hold on. Let me see if it's significant too right now. But it usually bounces off, 17, 1680, whatever it is. And then it bounces again. It doesn't bounce off of 18. It moves to the next price point up around the 20 to $21 range. Okay, so that's what I see with USAR. There's no major hype on it yet, other than uh, the fact that it is a significantly strong buy long term when it comes to the metals, because there's a war with rare earth metals, and the U.S. government has invested a little over $1 billion, and they're getting into anything non-China rare earth stocks, if that makes sense. Sorry, I'm a little flustered because I got to get out of here soon. Um, it did bounce, yes, but it's not. It doesn't mean it's going to shoot. It's I've seen USAR bounce off of this level and then just not have any momentum and slowly drip down all the way back down to $12 or all the way back down to $14. So I am not excited yet for USAR to bounce short term, right? It's down 2.5% in the last 5 days. There's no hype right now. There's tensions, and it's down 25% in the last month. Long term, very good play. You want to buy leaps on USAR? Why not? But I wouldn't, because there's so many different rare earth metal plays, and they're moving at the same time. I'd wait to see USAR jump above 20. That's my opinion. Um, Nice triple bottom. Yes. Let's check the SPY out again. 681.20. Hasn't quite passed the level I want. RSI is pointing down now, but MACD is pointing up. Let's see what happens. That's on the 5 minute. Let's see the 15 minute. 15 minutes looking good. I like to look at the 15 minute as we approach the last hour of the day, because I just like to see how the stock rallies. There's 4 more 15 minutes before the market closes. Right now, we got a candle with 5 minutes and 20 seconds left on it that, in order to pass the previous candle, needs to get above that 681.26 and really 681.40 to reclaim the 20, and then 681.81. So it's not doing it yet, but it doesn't look like it's dipping below 681 again yet. So I like this play for now. Got to keep a close eye on it, because time decay here, just since we spoke, that 10 cents and a little bit of time decay, I lost that $500 that I gained. So now I just got a tight stop loss, waiting to see if this thing is going to stop me out at break even, or it's going to run to 682 or 683 by the end of the day. All right, my guys. What do we got here? Gold. Go gold. Yeah, gold's great. Gold's great. Will I buy Google calls? No. If I bought Google now, I'd probably buy a leap. Honestly, I'd probably buy like an end of year leap. I'll make you a bet that the premiums aren't too expensive on those. Because Google could be like $400 by the end of the year. They're like number one right now. They have so much going for them. I can't even begin to tell you. But there's so much noise in this sector until we regain that bullish feel. Google could trickle up slowly, but in my opinion, I wouldn't nibble at it unless you want to, like I said, invest in it long term. I'd buy a leap on Google. You could probably pay a few $1,000 for it, and it could double by the end of the year. Similar to when Nvidia was like $120, $140, and people were thinking, is it going to go to 180? Is it going to scale back to 110? And it was making that move. Google's kind of doing that, and I think it will make the move up. I just don't know if it's going to dip first, and I don't watch Google too much. All right, my dudes, I really appreciate you all showing up. Again, I'm going to get a little bit more consistent with certain kinds of news and certain kinds of news in the Discord. I want to talk to Josh and see what he wants me to cover. I'd like to do some workshops with you guys soon where we take a certain amount of money, 10,000, 5,000, whatever your number is, and we don't have to discuss how much we each take, but we pick a few names, we do some investments, percentage based, and we train our disciplines. So we train our plays, how we enter, how we exit, and if we can keep our conviction, trade plan and execution. I think it's very important because when the time comes and you actually do get that move, a lot of times we screw it up, right? We screw it up for a lot of reasons, emotions, this, that. So I think it'll be good to practice together and just get used to it and soundboard off of each other. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did it. Why did I do that? I don't know. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? I say that to myself all the time. Today, I was up 10% more in my whole portfolio, and then I let it ride again. And it was so stupid, and I lost like a few $1,000s for nothing. And I remember saying to myself, don't go back in. You made your money for the day. So it's discipline, right? Discipline is very important. Trade disciplines are paramount to your success. Even if you just get one right and you keep with it, that's one leg up. So I'm going to talk to Josh. I'm going to see what kind of workshops I can do. Me and Miss Mary did we had the great live sessions late at night where we were doing the fundamentals and the technicals together. So we'll get back to that as well. I love doing midday with you guys. It's great for me. Right now it's 10 p.m. where I'm at. So I get to do the midday and then play the end of the market in most days. I love you guys. Please send me my email is tamirishere@gmail.com. If there's anything you want to see. If you want to catch me in the Discord, I'll be happy to get back to you. I'm in the middle of a big project and potentially buying a very expensive house way above my budget and a bunch of other things going on, taking my dad in to live with me who has dementia. So a lot's been going on the last month. That's why I've been on and off in the Discord, but I'm trying to be consistent with the news and with disciplines and with trade plans and with overall happiness and a good smile and keeping you guys remembering that there's always another trading day, right? There's always another day. The market always gives you another opportunity. Don't let yourself get caught with the hype. Sell, close it off, try again tomorrow if you're getting too frustrated. I love you guys. Peace out. Thanks for showing up, Switz. Thanks for showing up, everybody. Catch you. End of day. Peace.